Hey friends, Uber Theologian here, doing another podcast. This one's going to be a little bit unique because I just want to talk about something about very practical, okay? You've heard me many times talk about how effective we are, our attitude is, and how ineffective we can be whenever we are around people, and how we can ruin people's day. I mean, we can ruin people's day and we can lighten people's day up. It's really easy. If you're nice to people and say nice things, it really does affect. I mean, that's the way God created it. It's a community type thing. I mean, whether you're at the convenience store, at the grocery store, or with your family, it's like people want you to be happy, and it makes them happier. It really does. And it's hard whenever you have a bad attitude, whenever you are in a bad mood. It affects other people as well. And so I've talked so many times about really being kind to people, just going out of your way to try to be kind, because that's what we can do every day. I mean, we don't necessarily have to tell everybody we run into about Jesus. We don't really have to, let everybody know that we're a Christian. We just act a certain way. And as my friend Eric has talked about, this is kind of Francis Schaeffer's 2-story rule. And it's the idea that we integrate our religious or our morals with our daily lives, the practicality of daily lives. And it's very important for us to do this. It's very important for us to show other people all the time this is the way to do. And if we don't, it's ineffective. You get that. Now, as I have said before, I am delivering food. And that's why I'm the Uber theologian. Not necessarily for Uber. Do not represent Uber. Uber does not have anything to do with this. And I'm not even saying I work for Uber. But I am the awesome theologian. So I was delivering some food all day one day, right? And at the end of the day, let's back up first. I delivered something, and it shows on my phone how much I've gotten for that day. And it showed like $12. No, it showed $24. And then I pulled out of the people's neighborhood, and all of a sudden it said 0. And I was like, I haven't been doing this that long. Maybe it just funnels into a different account. So it just shows you each time how much you got. And so I didn't worry about it. But at the end of the day, I noticed that I'd been working very long. It was 6 o'clock. At least I felt like I'd been working very long. And it was 6 o'clock, and I noticed that I seemed really short on money. It didn't seem right. As a matter of fact, it looked like I was $24 short. And so I called the people at this food delivery place and got a gentleman that was not from this country, did not speak English very well, but tried to help me. And I was telling him, listen, I think some money's missing. And then I looked on my hours for the day, and it said I had worked for 7 hours and I was 6 hours active. And in this particular drive, in this particular delivery service, you get paid by the hour if you do certain things and you are able to schedule appointments. And so the entire time I was driving, I was getting paid by the hour. So I knew exactly how much I was supposed to make because I knew how long I worked. 6 hours times $12 was supposed to be a certain amount. And I said, listen, it doesn't add up. It shows that I worked for 6 hours and I'm supposed to be getting this much per hour, and it's not showing up. And so he tried to help me, and he said, okay, let me check this out. And he said, no, it shows right. You're right. The app is right. You're wrong. And I said, listen, I've got a picture here of your app that you created that showed how long I worked, how long I was active. Therefore, I know exactly how much I'm supposed to get paid. So I ended up emailing this to him. This took 30 minutes, or maybe 45. I don't know. It was one of those very long phone calls that got more and more intense. I did. Okay. And so after he looked at it, he said, yeah, it does show 6 hours. I don't really understand, but your payment is right because it shows you started at 2 o'clock. And I said, wait a minute. Listen to this. I said, wait a minute. If it's 2 o'clock, what that I started, that's what you show. And I worked till 6, and right now at 6 o'clock, I'm calling you on the phone. It's 6 o'clock. This is the way I said it too. And at 6 o'clock right now, how in the world could I have been active for 6 hours and 7 hours driving? Just let's remember the 6 hours active, because that would only be 4 hours. And so he said, I don't really know. And you know, we'd gone so long, and I was like, okay, are you just telling me that I have to eat this? You know, this $24 that I lost. He's like, no, sir, I'm not. And he goes, let me look at something else. And, you know, I was really waiting for him to escalate this to somebody who could, you know, give me my money that I was supposed to get. And so I pushed and pushed. And by the, you know, last 15 minutes, I'm being very, very intense. And I'm not being mean in the sense that normally you're mean. I'm not calling him any names or anything, but I'm saying, listen, man, I have math on my side. I have facts. Can 2 + 2 equal anything but 4? No, sir, it cannot. Okay, how could I have worked, and this is the way I'm saying it, how could I have worked for 6 hours? It is 2 o'clock when you show I started. But I believe I started at 11. I think this is right. And so your app says the right thing. Where's my money? And he said, well, sir, I don't know. The app is right. I'm really sorry. Kept on going with that deal. And I kept on getting more and more intense. And I said, so your company does not pay its drivers. Is that what you're telling me? No. And then I'm going back to the math thing, back to the facts thing. And I mean, it just went on and on. And I mean, it was kind of sad for this guy, because I was just, what I had in my mind was absolutely the truth. There was no way he could deny it. I had facts. Boom, boom. It was one of those times where you knew you were right. Sometimes you don't know you're right. This time I knew I was right, because I remembered starting at a certain time. And so then after a long time, I mean, and I don't blame him for doing this, he said, listen, I can't help you anymore, sir. Bye. Click. You know, just hung up. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Okay. And so I went there and reviewed him, right? I go, okay. After the phone call, I waited. It's one of those times I did wait. Will you review this session? I said, yes, I will. And it said, you know, I'll give the 1 for excellent service. And it keeps on going down. And I'm like waiting for the last one, you know, whatever is the worst service I got, that's what I got. Boom. That's why I clicked. And then afterwards, I sent a little message about how he did not help me. It was not any help. And I felt really justified in doing that and all that stuff. And, you know, I was just mad. I really was. And whenever he left, I mean, it was bad. He was kind of scared. I was pushing very hard. It was just one of those types of things. I mean, not scared. He was just, I don't know. He didn't know what to do. And so then I start telling people, you know, how you do, calling my wife, calling my son, who also does this sometimes. And I sent him the picture and stuff. And he goes, well, I made this much. And I said, okay, well, what does your app say? When does your app say you started? And he says, well, 2 o'clock. That's whenever I did my first delivery. I remember leaving at 2. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hit me. I started at 2. That guy was absolutely right the entire time. And I mean, it was just, I felt so bad, because I absolutely demolished his day, I'm sure. Probably went home, he was angry, yelled at his wife and his kids or whatever else, maybe even quit his job, because that's how bad I was and how intense I was. That's horrible. I mean, that is horrible. I am going to rethink, even whenever I'm absolutely sure. Now, the app did say I worked 7 hours, but it was total for the week. You see, I guess that guy, maybe he was new or something and he didn't know how to explain that, or I don't know. But anyway, that's a bad illustration. That's something that you don't do. That's something I regret, and I'm going to try to do better, because I don't like ruining anybody's day at all. Even for $24 is not worth it. Even if I really did have that owed to me, I need to be careful about that. That's how you integrate this 2-story approach of your practical life and your beliefs. I don't believe in hurting people. I don't believe in doing that kind of stuff. I believe in truth, yes, but I should have been nice to the guy and understand that I'm fallible. But anyway, so just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. The main thing about this is that your actions, your attitude, the way you talk to people, if you talk to people, really does affect their day. And I did not affect that guy's day well at all. And I hope I hope it didn't really ruin his day. All right, we will see you next time. Uber Theologian, thank you. You can support me at Patreon by searching for C. Michael Patton on Patreon, or doing patrons/C. Michael Patton. Either way, I put these up there, and that's how I get support. So thank you so much.